well,
Okay.
good work.
Okay, okay. Other than that, I will get this to you next week, an idea of what the deal is, and
Yeah, Saturday maybe.
sure, I'll be here Saturday, if you guys show up on Saturday,
I'll
I'll be.
bet she'll be busy. Be hauling them baiting people out of the concert. Did you get a toboggan? I mean, a carrier?
I don't know if they got it or not.
Justin ordered one, he said.
Yeah.
Do you know what Justin and them are doing today? They didn't show up today.
Yeah,
I don't.
they didn't show up. We heard Darren was sick, and I think Justin must be taking care of him.
I know Darren had been feeling kind of puny.
But he don't answer his cell phone or nothing.
Yeah.
Monday, I know he sent Darren home,
Yeah.
because he looked like death warmed over, and was like, I don't know what you got. Get there. But no, I can try to get hold of him, that's usually odd.
Just out of curiosity, because it is very out of character for Justin now. Unless we find out that last week he told us that he wouldn't,
Yeah.
nobody seemed to think he did, so. Because that would not be unusual for us to forget that.
That's right.
I didn't see anything on the schedule today when I sat down, because usually it shows up on my screen, but
Yeah. Well,
unlike me, who, you know, it's rare that I do show up.
Yeah, what's wrong with you today?
I know. I think this is like 2 weeks in a row.
What's going on here?
All right, sorry to take up your time.
No worries.
All right, guys.
all right,
All right.
well, keep up the
Good
good work.
weekend.
See you, Ron.
All right,
How's it going?
Hi,
doing good.
been a long time.
I know. A whole 24 hours.
Yeah. That's a long time.
But it is. Did you make it to Lewistown?
Yes, I did, and back.
You went to the, did you go to the
I
unmade?
went up through the construction, cause how bad could it be? It's bad.
Really? How long did it take?
45 minutes of waiting and going and waiting.
That's what I've heard.
So I came back through.
Yeah, Mark had to go to Lewistown today and he took the back
West
road.
Grove or
A
whatever.
lot of traffic on that back road, I noticed.
Well,
But, of course, I got grass rain and it was pouring rain.
oh, really?
I was gonna go to, you guys, what is it, Forest Grove?
Oh, yeah, we had a
And I
lot
was
of
gonna
rain.
turn south and go to Flatwell. I
Yeah.
haven't been that way forever, and I don't know what's going on. It was raining so hard. Of course, I kinda went right by Forest Grove and looked back, oh, that was Forest Grove. So I didn't turn. I went in
Yeah,
the
we
rest
got a
of
half an inch in about 15 minutes and we
Yeah.
had pea size 12. Pea size L. Yeah, there we go. What
Did
a
you say
quail.
size?
Pea size quail.
it. Quail.
I'm thinking eggs and
I
quail.
thought you said 12, but quail's even better. You can picture that.
Yeah, we did too.
I love that
You
rain.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it
in like
just came
15
down.
minutes, it was just sheets.
Yep. Yeah.
That's
It
what
was-
Cheryl said.
Yeah, that's what we
We didn't get any hail, but we only got a quarter
Yeah.
inch out.
We did.
But down on the river, like, it was running water, so I know it rained more to the south.
Mhm.
It always rains on the river.
It does. I know they don't even need it.
And you're on the river.
I'm on the river. But it was right when Heck was haying the
Yeah.
property, so he was like, we're like racing to get the hay baled.
That helps. Hey, yeah, that's how we make it rain. Cut some hay
That's true. That'll do it every time on a,
every time.
yeah, because there was no rain in the forecast. Oh, I just saw Johnny.
Did ya?
He's pretty happy with
Is he?
what's going on. He was,
Is he got-
he's having emotional problems watching stuff get thrown away. But I told him if it's okay with you guys, I told him once the hazmat gets done, I'd take him through the thing
Yeah,
and let
yeah,
him
that's
see it.
I'd like to see it too.
Well, so.
I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah, on that note, I'll start with the hazmat cleanup. So they got clearance on the for the investment on I'm having a little trouble with words. Maybe I should be
I don't know how you
excited.
snuck quail.
I think my body has already gone to sleep. I got some caffeine, it hasn't kicked in yet. The asbestos clearance for the second floor got granted this year, this week. So the second floor clearance for everything, he said he's got about, this is Miguel, he says he's got about 2 or 3 more days to do the lead-based paint cleanup on the second floor. Then the whole second floor will be done. So the basement was done last week.
So it's clear, so John's safe, he's down, you know.
Oh yeah, and the entire basement's done. The entire second floor will be done next week. And then he thinks 2 to 4 weeks for the first floor, but I think he'll get it done in 2.
Okay,
And John mobilized Wednesday, and I told him we need to give, he said, well, what's going on with the hazmat? And I said, well, so I told him, and he said, well, I said, we gotta give him a 2-week notice when you want that office cleaned up.
okay,
Oh, yeah.
And so he said, well, give it to him now because we're gonna put temporary shoring up and they'll be able to get in there and clean it up and then they'll be done. So we tentatively could have the hazmat done by the end of July.
excellent.
Yeah.
That just makes it so much
Those
better.
guys gonna pack that safe out of there?
I don't know who's gonna end up doing that. And there's that safe upstairs too. And I haven't
That's right.
asked Miguel if he did that yet or not.
Moving that safe out might be not safe.
Well, they definitely didn't touch it. I gave them strict instructions not to move it before it got shored
Yeah,
up. So
at least take all the gold out of it first.
somebody's gonna take a torch to that thing, I'm sure. Tanya, your question from last week, you asked when is our hazmat cleanup bill gonna start coming in? So she said, I don't know if you saw that email, while abatement's going on, the county's loan acts like a line of credit.
Okay.
Because we're only gonna use what is
What it's-
required,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
So as soon as the work's done, then it'll convert to a traditional loan, and then we'll have to start making payments.
yeah.
So,
but then half that loan's forgiven or something.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
so that's what she said. So John's contract got fully executed, but then we were missing a signature, but we have everything we need, fully executed contract. All the documentation that we required of John, it's all done as of Wednesday. Well, the contract we got today with he had signed it Friday of last week, but High Plains didn't do the formal, like, this PDF is complete and real, and
Okay,
we got that today.
okay,
So, they have had some trouble with people trespassing if they don't shut the back door.
Really?
John, like in the first 2 days, he's like, people start just coming in. So I said, we have no trespassing signs all over the place.
Yeah, people are curious.
Yeah,
They can't help themselves.
Of course.
and I'm like, well, maybe I need to say it's illegal. No trespassing.
so violators will be prosecuted? or
Yeah, maybe.
So,
Big
We need
stop
somebody
sign.
to charge them to get out.
that's a good idea, that'll shock people.
Raise a little money.
Yeah, there you go.
Lock the door. John said that, what he did, he put up a yellow, personal protective gear required
Oh.
past this point, cause they're all wearing hard hats.
Right, right, okay.
His whole crew,
Okay,
so
very good.
maybe that'll scare some sense into him. But I told him Miguel had better luck with just shutting the doors.
Yeah.
But the guys are coming in and out, you
Yeah,
know, so it's like,
I want to open this, yeah.
but they're going through like fencing to get to the open
Yeah.
door. So,
Put out radiation hazard.
that's a
Or
good.
abandon a hope all ye.
Okay, 2 things I wanted to talk about with the bonds that we got from John. So, in the proposal, it was listed at $23,700 is what the bonds they thought were gonna cost.
Yeah.
They ended up costing $13,650. So we're gonna get a change order credit of $10,150.
Beautiful.
So that'll bring our, that proposal down, that 10,000. But then in the conversation about the bonds over the last month, John sent me some documentation saying that his bond company said they had to bond for the full contingency. So the contingency
Yeah, it
was
was-
10% or whatever.
Yeah, 10%, yeah.
So he said that bond will be refundable if we don't use the contingency, that piece
Okay.
of the bond.
That's good.
So I'm sort of marking me some
You
reminders,
bet.
to expect that change order, but also to expect that or request that reimbursement if we don't use the contingency, which we all hope not to,
Okay,
including John. So that's That's good news.
It is good news.
Yeah, I don't know how much that'll be, but, it'll be some.
Well, that contingency's 30-something grand or something, so. Well, I don't know how much the bond on it, but still,
10%.
it's good news. And it's fair and everybody's doing what they said they were doing.
Mhm.
That's excellent.
Yeah. Design, we have that second stabilization meeting on Tuesday. So if you guys have any if you can't come to that meeting, if you don't wanna come to that meeting, if you have any questions you'd like me to ask the design
Right
team,
now, huh?
just email me, text me, whatever, and I'll present it, but I'm gonna ask everything that we discussed in our meeting with Emery Wednesday. So,
The only question I have on the stabilization isn't the shoring, right? Oh, it is, never mind. I'm thinking the structure repair, never mind.
yeah, it's the shoring, the destructive assessment to design the roof, and the demo of that office,
Got it.
and then the leveling. So that's these meetings that we're
Yeah,
going to.
no need to complicate things, I know, that's good.
I don't know if you saw, but I sent out, an invite for our time to discuss the proposal with Randy Hafer with the developer,
Is it July 12th or something?
July 9th at 1:30. So it's a Wednesday,
Okay,
when you guys do your bills and stuff, it'll be in the afternoon.
okay, and I gotta make sure I forward to that.
Tonight,
It's the 9th at 1:30.
next
So
month.
Bonnie checked your schedule. Yes, next month, which is next week.
I know.
Mike, can you believe it?
No, I don't.
I know. I'm so not
It
ready
just
for
turned
Friday.
June last week, didn't it?
I thought it just turned 2025.
Yeah.
The only bad thing is all this stuff I thought I'd have done by this time.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
That's the
saying.
worst part. That's the worst.
That is bad, and I know how you feel.
It's like, good God.
Well, I was updating a weird timeline and I keep all of our other goals,
What
like
time
our
is that?
original goals, which probably
I think
not.
she sent it.
Oh, it's 1:30 on July 9th. It's Wednesday.
Okay.
But I was just updating, I'm going, oh yeah, 5 months behind on that goal.
This one.
But
Oh, well.
what do we do? We're here.
Yeah.
Take it
Keep
on
on
back.
going, that's
Yeah.
all you can.
You know, it's really weird though, it's very, never mind.
Yeah.
I said, it's hard to forward these things, but it isn't, so I'm just able to do it.
Good.
I gotta send it to my Google account, and that way I can put it on my,
And I've never seen that from a Google account acknowledgement, except when you do it.
oh, really?
So it's cool. I mean, I get
Well,
it
that's
when it's
'cause I'm
Outlook. Yes, you have some.
Or the governor, when the governor does it.
Yeah, where they go?
No, it's, I've gotten in a habit of getting it on the calendar, kinda like what Mike does, and then it's amazing how much it helps.
Oh, if I
Yeah,
don't
you
put it on
can't
my
write it down
calendar.
too
Oh,
many
yeah.
places either.
If I ever lost my calendar, I would cry. Cause it's like my memory, cause otherwise I don't even know where I'm doing tomorrow.
That's how I am.
Worst of it, I don't know what I did yesterday.
Yeah.
What did I do?
You know,
You
it
went to
is,
Lordstown.
it's really crazy
I know.
though, these time, you know, at the end of the week, you go, what did I do this week? And then you go back
Yeah.
through and go, wait a minute, we kind of had a little bit of activity this week. It's better than saying I slept or I was hungover all week.
Which is the usual.
It should not be, you know, much of a surprise.
Okay, so you remember back to the historic document conversation? I did finally get in touch with the state archivist.
Oh,
And
yeah, I've seen some of them emails.
yeah, and so he said he's gonna use it as a training for his new state archivist staff. And they're gonna come over here the week after the 4th and look at the documents on site. So hopefully we'll have a nice clean space for them to sit in because they wanna do it on site. I'm gonna explain to them again that it's cleaned up, or that it's in the middle of cleanup, but,
Yeah, maybe I'll find something they really want.
well, I hope they want them because the museum said they didn't, so.
Yeah,
We have no room. We have absolutely no room for anything.
I know.
And if you can't archive them properly where people can
Cannot.
search them digitally,
Yeah.
We
then
cannot.
there's, it's sort of, so hopefully I'm hoping they'll want them. because there's some great stories in there.
We're talking about the sanitation records. See, and how they've got them back almost 100 years. And they don't have any room left. It's all paper.
Yeah, you can't,
They
you have
need to be
store paper
digitized.
properly.
So they're talking about maybe finding a way to get that done.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in one floppy disk and they're done.
Floppy.
Floppy.
But anyway, I didn't
Gotta
realize
have
they
money to
kept.
do that.
And do you need them? There's the question. Do
But you just never know who in
Well,
the
these are
future if they're gonna be
septic
valuable
systems,
for.
these are,
Yeah.
you know, and eventually somebody put one in 50 years ago and they wanna know where it is.
Yeah.
Well, I usually just fall in.
But you gotta have the equipment and the people to do it, and
Yeah.
like the museum has no paid staff,
Yeah.
no equipment, we're not heated,
Right.
you can't store paper, so it's,
Yeah.
Think of what we spent on digitally archiving.
Yeah.
yeah.
We spent $167,000 or something.
Yeah, something like that, but it's,
And you digitized all your records for the last, how many 100 years?
yeah.
Montague and Cheryl.
It really wouldn't take about 3 weeks, did it?
Yeah, and it's just so powerful for them now, they just do a search. And
Wow.
It's great.
Yeah,
and we did that off of a grant too, didn't we? Well,
Yeah.
we used, did,
that was ARPA or.
That was ARPA or
COVID,
CARES
I'm not
Act.
sure which,
yeah.
but yeah, it was a grant.
It's really important because you just don't ever know when you're gonna need those records. I mean, I had records from a nonprofit that I worked for 25 years ago, and they were like, "Hey, did you ever write a grant to Dollar General for this?" We had some question about it, and I was like, and luckily I had archived everything digitally, and I was just,
Well, my mother had records all the way back to the 30s from the ranch, you know, from my grandfather's ranch. And it paid off for me because I looked up that check for that bridge, and it was 1991, and I found it. The check where she paid for that railroad bridge they were trying to prove who owns it. So.
Well,
there you
go.
If you'd have thrown that box
There was
away.
a box
Yeah.
over in the other building, I thought, I wonder, and I started looking through, sure enough,
And you found it.
pulled out that check.
thank goodness Mom was organized.
Yeah. But I'm not that organized. She's gone. But I like reading them old records from the 30s,
Oh,
though.
yeah, that's
My
cool.
God, we got $50 for a calf. It made money. They were making money too. Strange
Sort of
world.
imagine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, so they'll be here the week after the 4th is what he's shooting for. He'll give us a set date, and so,
Yeah.
we'll, yeah,
Okay.
there's a chance they'll archive that stuff for us. I did follow up with Bill Teason about the alley issue, and Lon hadn't been there to do anything, but I just told him he said he was gonna go see Lon the next day, so I'm
Okay.
just gonna keep following up so that he knows we're trying to be a good neighbor, and
Good. I think he'd understand that.
yeah, he did, he appreciated it, actually, he did. And I said, if you need me just to give Lon a call, I can do that too, you know, we can.
Did you tell him we decided to run water on his roof so he'd come off Riverwood Street?
No, but that's a good idea. Why didn't you suggest that
It's a
before?
shortcut.
Because he has a nice
Yeah,
drainage
he has a nice
system
drainage
there.
system. Why not? Ask him.
No.
Let's start over.
No, he's a good guy, but there's only so far that'll go. Okay, you may have seen this. We got, the Signal Peak did give us the $50,000.
Yeah, I've seen that. They released it.
Yeah, they released it to us. Sue told me that day, I wrote her a letter. Luckily, it was the same day that I got the pay app signed, so I just sent her the pay app for John. And so they're gonna pay for $50,000 of the mobilization fee for John. And,
I
And
noticed
that's
it- I noticed
closed.
it was a 3-2 vote.
yeah, so she did tell me quite a bit of
3
detail.
for and 2 against it.
It was 3-4-2 against, and 2 members weren't there, and I'm pretty certain those members would have voted
Voted
against
against
us. So it's just, we're,
What was the issue?
Well, they were not, the money was over a year old since we got the grant. And anything that hadn't been spent in a year had to go back. That was their new rule, right?
Right, and so the people that voted for it, they said, we made that rule May of this year. So they made that rule May of this year, and they didn't feel like it was fair to make it retroactive for people that had.
Already got a grant.
Yeah.
But the people that voted against us, and I just wanna make y'all aware of this, there's just some really hurt feelings about what's going on with the Hope family.
Oh,
That whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not, it sounds to me like it's not worth the county's money to go to Signal Peak Community Foundation in the future, because there's
they're
some
not gonna
very
be nice to us, huh?
hurt feelings there.
Hmm.
And that was the reason the other folks voted against it, that they feel like the county didn't show up. With the federal stuff that was happening, where they were
Yeah.
asking for their permitting, but also with this whole,
Well, yeah, that's not fair
Yeah,
about
that's
the permitting thing. We sent a letter to Bergman
Mm-hmm.
requesting that he expedite the environmental impacts and consider Signal Peak as a shovel-ready project for energy.
Yeah.
We supported it. We, the only thing was not supported the Crow Revenue Act as written.
yeah, and I think that's what's,
Yeah,
Yeah, it
That's
is.
got-
And
that's a
you know,
big
that's
burr in
all-
your
that's-
saddle,
That's
so.
all you can say. I don't think you're gonna educate everybody about it, but it is, you know, and if their board says, hey, we don't think we should do that, then that's fine.
but this time it worked. So
Mm-hmm.
I was very grateful. I sent everybody I know on the board a thank you, because I'm just glad, because we
Is this
committed
a-
that money as match for our
I know.
other two grants. And I did not wanna go to our grantors and say, hey, we lost our local match,
what
can
was
we
it?
substitute?
what was in our favor is the city had the same problem. you know,
Yes,
With
yeah.
that building they're building out there. They've got a grant, and they were just starting to build the damn thing, they haven't spent the money yet.
And the mayor's not on that board, is she?
Yes, she
Did
is.
she vote against it?
She wasn't there.
And she probably would've been conflicted, even though she knows the building that, because, you know, the mine, whatever the mine wants, she does. But-
Yes, so that worked out
Yeah.
well, is that I was very, I told Sue, she almost made me cry, because I was like, yay, I just didn't want to try and
So
go.
you don't wanna ask him for another 100,000?
I think it would be a waste of our
Tom
time.
Parker, we're still open to a donation, he just smiled.
No, he's being very polite.
Yeah, see.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the 50,000. I was happy about that, and it's already put back in it's already reimbursed the federal mineral royalties fund, so it's basically spent, and it's
Yeah,
spent as earmarked as we promised. So I'll send them a final report. They take their final reports in September with their
Okay.
September meeting, so I'll send them an update.
what was that check you got?
That was it,
That was
but
it,
that,
right?
she took it back and was giving it to Dorsey.
So, I saw you endorse it, put it in your pocket.
I looked immediately to see if it was written out to me, and it wasn't.
No, it wasn't, unless you changed your name to Muscle Shell County.
You know, that is too bad. We'll probably maybe try and work to repair that relationship, but,
Oh, so,
we hope we can repair it, but, you know, we've made it clear why we're doing what we're doing.
it's the mine, but you know, Parker's receptive.
And maybe in the future, what I always know is when there's misunderstandings, it seems like if you're able to, in the future, move towards, you know, if there's something you can do to advocate for them that helps them understand that you are for the mine, then that goes a long way. That's what I've had to do with people that have
Sure.
misunderstood my intention in town, and they like have labeled me something, and it's like, that's not my intention, but there's no, sometimes people get in a camp and that's all they
Yeah.
can think of.
Exactly.
Well, it's, some people, you're never gonna change their
Yeah.
mind because, and there's nothing you can do about that, but you know, reasonable people,
Yeah,
and sometimes let them more time, you know,
come around.
cause I don't think it's fair to hurt the whole community, you know, over something like that, you know, but,
Yeah, well,
But, I mean, action speaks the loudest, so there'll be an opportunity in the future. The mine's always gonna need support.
Yeah, yeah.
I-
Yeah.
I did ask him if there's things that are happening like on the federal level that like the residents of Muscle Shell County need to tell their senator about, like that. And I said, don't you have a PR person or something that we could find out and we could share that information? He said, I am that person. So, they don't have a,
Was that Parker?
yeah,
Yeah, he is.
yeah. And,
Well, he's the reason we wrote Burton, and,
Yeah.
and actually, that's what happened.
you're right.
Bergen got so if there's a perception that we didn't support that at the federal level, we absolutely did. But see, I don't think anything we do is gonna register.
It's just gonna take some time and more action, yeah. Let's see. Another thing for your calendar that I think you guys accepted the invite, and I checked this date with you guys, July the 25th at 6 p.m. Great West. This is not my county work, this is my volunteer work, but
Okay.
we're doing a Roundup Community
Great West.
Partners is hosting a community coffee for the Bear Recreation Area, Bear Collins Recreation Area.
Okay.
Courtney contacted me and said, hey, we need to have a community coffee for this, the feasibility study for the Bear Collins Recreation Area. So I coordinated that with, our RCP team, got approval for a community coffee and funding, and
I'm gonna have it at your house.
we're gonna, that would be fun.
Did you just send that in an email or an invite?
I sent it in an email, it was not an
Okay, so
invite.
I'm just gonna put it, community coffee at what?
July 25th at 6 p.m. in the Central Commons.
So it's Bear Collins.
Bear Collins,
Oh, I have it, community coffee.
Oh, did you?
No, but at what time again?
6 o'clock?
6 p.m.
Yeah.
At the, again?
You'll have to skip your nap.
At the Central Commons,
Okay, the senior center?
at the senior center.
Can we get in?
Sherry's already, Sherry, reserved it for us, and she'll pick up the keys and she'll have the coffee and stuff ready, and I'm gonna order the snacks, and so there'll be goodies like we always do, cause that's what attracts people.
I was curious about that. I got halfway through it.
Cookies. Bread, we did that Italian bread in case somebody hadn't had dinner, they can
Yeah.
have a little carryover.
We'll have some artichokes and some
But that's it.
Some baby carrots.
baby carrots. Little baby carrots.
That's all I have. I do feel like this week is a big turning point for us. Like I finally got to file 2 months worth of conversation about that control estimate and contracts and all the documentation to get
Checking some
John.
stuff off then, huh?
Yeah,
That's good.
so I just feel like this, like, is, even though it's not the timing that I wanted, a lot, I mean, I really hope to be done by now, but, the fact that the hazmat guys are gonna be, are sort of done
Right.
there, and they're
Mhm.
well poised to do that, what John needs them to do. And then John, I think he's gonna get moving, so.
Yeah, I'm optimistic. I think we've, like I said, the word heavy lift, but I think we kinda, and I feel like we're just being smart about how we're moving forward, so,
Well, realistically, it hasn't been that bad of the timing. I mean, we just keep moving, maybe slower than we want, but we're moving.
Right,
I
well,
agree.
we had to pivot and shift when
Yeah.
the cost of structural repair was gonna be so high, and so.
yeah, it kinda took us off the charts. It's like, we're, I don't know if we did that. No, I think it's great.
Just like I shot Bob today with a $71,000 bill to Central Montana
I
Health
was
Board.
like, what the hell?
What are you gonna do?
Everything's going up, it's insane. I mean, what do we
2 years ago,
normally paid like 20 grand for that, or 25?
15,000 what we were
70.
paying 2 years ago.
What much?
15,000.
Yeah, now it's 70.
Or 3 years ago, maybe. Then of course,
And what does
first
that
pulled it up.
cover?
Central Montana Health Board, or 5 counties,
Yeah, it's
together.
really important. I
Well,
know.
and we're required by statute to provide that service, but
Oh,
now
we-
it's bumping
We have to have public
doing it
health.
ourselves.
Mm.
We still